So I've done my best with the bigger brush and just blending it all while it's still wet, blending all these colors together. But there may be areas of detail that I wasn't able to get to before it dried that I'm not happy with yet. Maybe I want them to be a lot softer. Instead of pulling out my airbrush, this sometimes is a much easier method to get some very soft airbrush-like details. It starts with just getting 1/2 of the tip of my brush loaded with paint. So for an example, I'll just put this brush in here and you can see it's only that very corner. I want to always keep 1/2 of the end of this brush clean. So it is a little bit wet with water, not soaked, just wet enough that it's not gonna dry my paint too fast. I keep a little bit of water in it so that the paint doesn't dry too extremely fast on me. And then I come over to my painting and I do like this. I'll put it around this light area that I want to soften, and I'm just covering it. I'm just covering this area that has all of that brush texture showing in there, and after I do this, it's just going to be just a smooth area with this blur effect on it. Okay, then I'll fill in the middle, and the edge of this brush that's clean keeps fading and blending this edge. But if that's not doing a 100% job for me, I always have these dry brushes handy, and I can just go over it a few times, and look how soft that gets. But I have to do it quick and then get off of it. I gotta leave it. And then I need to let it dry 100% before I come back and do any other adjustments on this, because it'll pull that paint off. Even when it's dry to the touch, it still can be soft enough to get pulled off by another layer of wet paint. So maybe I want to give it like 30 minutes. So I'm putting on this dark color, and there's a good amount of water in the mix. Then I'll immediately just right over it with this other brush. And then what happens is this starts to no longer be a dry brush. And so instead of soaking it in water, it's such a tiny amount of paint that dries so fast, I can actually just massage it right out of the bristles. I can just do this and the bristles get their nice fluffy dry texture back. So somewhere up here, I don't know where, this lightning is going to come down. And you can see this nice soft edge that I'll get by just leaving that 1/2 of this brush clean and a little bit wet. And I come down in here, and then I can further blur that edge out by doing that same technique. I periodically clean my brush out. All right, let's do some more. I'm working left-handed here now, so now that's a much softer blend on that edge. I can have a nice glow effect. I can come back over this again. And if I wanted to, further work on this edge, I could come over here, raise that edge up a little bit. This is how I do the edges of clouds sometimes on a ceiling, where you're looking up and you just want all the edges to have a real soft blur to them. So now that I have my glow pattern established there, I'll come through and make my super bright lightning bolt. These areas that are fatter, like where my glow pattern kind of branches out, I'll just use that zigzags or something.